Hi, I'm Ruth Astbury, a women's health champion, health and wellbeing coach. I specialise in perimenopause and menopause, and I run a corporate wellbeing business. And in my spare time, you'll find me swimming, cycling, running, doing all sorts of fitness stuff outside, doing my best to avoid leaks, and finding somewhere to go to the loo.
I'm Lizzie, a clinical specialist physio in pelvic health. I run an NHS and a private practice. I do love what I do. I'm very lucky. I love the ladies that I work with and the men. And I come with my own lived experience, for I am the proud owner of my very own vaginal prolapse. And I also have a plethora of funny stories about weeing in public places.
So, welcome to Oops, I Peed My Pants podcast, the podcast that's breaking the silence, smashing the stigma, and getting real about pelvic floor health and female incontinence.
Yeah, so whether it's laughing, lifting, coughing, you could be crossing the finish line. We are here to talk about the things that nobody talks about and nobody wants to talk about, but everybody should be talking about.
And today, listeners, we are thrilled to welcome a very, very special guest, Professor Julie Cornish, a consultant colorectal surgeon, passionate advocate for women's health and pelvic health, and also the founder of the most brilliant EveryWoman Festival that's on in Cardiff in June.
Yeah, so this is going to be a two-part series, isn't it, Ruth? So the first episode, she's going to be here to talk about her work with the EveryWoman Festival. And then we nabbed her to do a longer interview. And in that part, so part two, we're going to be dressing in a very general way, but all the problems that she sees in clinic and the issues surrounding fecal or bowel incontinence. So that's going to be a good one.
And that's coming out in June, isn't it? We'll be
Oh
showing.
yes, sorry. Yeah, that's going to be June as part of our incontinence month or incontinence awareness. It's going to be incontinence awareness with a difference. So looking at bowel issues, I think.
So fantastic. So, listeners, grab a cuppa, settle in, and let's get into it. So, listeners, today we have Professor Julie Cornish. She's a colorectal consultant and a trustee and clinical director of the EveryWoman Festival that's happening this June, and a MASIC Foundation, and an all-round amazing lady. And she's joining us today to talk a little bit about the EveryWoman Festival that you all need to go out and buy tickets today. It's a brilliant day out. It's in Cardiff, and it's on June the 7th. So, Julie, welcome. Lovely to meet you.
Nice to see you too, Ruth. Thank you very much for the invitation today.
You're very welcome. So, tell us about the origins of the EveryWoman Festival. So, how long has it been going? What's the format?
Okay, so this is the third year. It's a one-day event, and the format is it usually runs from about 10:30 to about 5:30, and we have 6 speaker areas which cover menopause, birth and beyond, education. There's like a gut health. There's a big main stage with keynote speakers and a cancer and survivorship tent. And the idea about it is that it's mainly about education, so kind of figuring out what's normal, what's not normal. It's about support, so basically empowering women to sort of say that actually you have a right to speak about your symptoms and kind of where you might go to ask for help, and not just sort of standard areas, but also charities, third sectors, and potentially private areas as well. Because unfortunately, there is still a bit of a postcode lottery and you may not have access to the NHS services in your local area. And the reason why it got set up was essentially I see a lot of women in clinic who have had problems for many, many years. And what's frustrating as a surgeon is that I sometimes end up taking out bits of bowel or hoiking bits of bowel and stitching it back in place, or different things like that, where actually if people had got simpler help much earlier, for example, constipation, then maybe they may not have needed their rectal prolapse sorting out or a bit of bowel taken away. These are pretty major operations, and it's frustrating from my part that it's a lack of information awareness. And then the other aspect is women who've had childbirth injury, who've suffered for many, many years with the physical consequences, which has a really big impact on their mental health as well. And again, knowing the fact that actually there are solutions out there that are relatively straightforward. And then there are some surgical options which don't involve a bag or a stoma, but maybe they've been scared away from looking for help because either they've been told that everybody has it and they just have to accept it because of their age, or it's normal to after you've had a baby, or they're worried about actually the only thing they might be offered is something as extreme as a stoma, and they chose fear that. So they kind of, but there's lots of things in between that are actually really successful. So basically that's kind of where it's set up, and no one's going to come to an incontinence festival on their own. So the idea is if we mix it up. So, and then the more I started looking at it, the more I realized actually there's lots of aspects of women's health that are intertwined. So we literally cover everything from lung to gut to brain to the physical to sexual to cancer. There's pretty much something for everybody there. But to make it fun, we also do the sort of practical workshops. There are games, there are make and take art activities, music, food, drink. And it's the idea is you come with your friends or your family or your daughter or your mum or your husband. And actually you can just come along and in an informal way, listen. And you don't have to come if there's, you don't have to have something wrong with you to come, because actually a lot of the time it's just having an awareness of actually the anatomy names, how you sort of understand what the vulva is, the difference between that and the vagina that often we're not taught at schools. So that's kind of what we're doing.
Yeah, it was brilliant. You know, I came last year for the first time and it was absolutely brilliant. Ruth went with Faye. I had just an absolute blast. It was brilliant. And there were a couple of men there. I was quite excited about that. Yeah, which I was quite excited about. And then to be fair, I'm hoping that I'll bring my two girls, because I've got two teenagers, and they're pretty okay with everything, as they would be, as my child.
I would hope.
But yeah, they would be quite keen to come down. Actually, it was brilliant. I had such a great time. And in terms of the artwork, I did actually make my own origami penis, which I was very proud of. That was brilliant, because I was looking for something quite outrageous for somebody as a present, and I thought surely I can get a big vulva hat or a t-shirt, or the more outrageous the better. But I found there was somebody there selling femigami.
Yeah.
Oh, it was ace. So I've literally bought about 4 of them off her. And I've saved them for special friends. I thought, wow, it's, if you have a dinner party, get your family.
Absolutely.
It was brilliant. It was so good. So I've got something in my eye. Yeah, I just didn't know where to go. There was so much stuff that I wanted to listen to. It was a bit of a Hermione Granger moment. I wish I could
yeah, I'm just looking at the schedule now. It's fantastic.
It's amazing. I was like, well, I want to go to that. Well, I want to go to that. It was really there was stuff that was a little bit woo. There was, which I love a bit of that. There was arty stuff. There was like really clinical stuff. Loved the endometriosis talks. That was amazing. That was really, really good. And then there was lots of stuff about contraception as well, like the coil. And it was ace. I can't wait to go this year. So I was going to go anyway, even if Ruth wasn't going to come. But you will come now anyway, won't you?
Yeah, well, I'm coming for sure, and Olivia's coming. My niece is coming as well, and my sister's coming as well. I think my sister's coming. So it's a girls' day out from North Wales. So we
very good.
So
we've expanded the education area. So for the younger women that are coming and the young girls, we've got 3 talks that are going to be on the morning and the same in the afternoon. And the idea is we're going to cover gynae anatomy, pelvic physio, kind of what everybody needs to know, how to do them, when to do them. Pleased with that, Lizzie. And also then contraception and menstrual health sort of products. So I don't know about you, but I never use moon cups, and actually, I don't have periods now because I have the coil in situ. But I wouldn't know how to tell my daughters to fit a moon cup or when they should use it. So essentially the education area is because my twin daughters turned around and said, well, we know lots of stuff, Mom. You told us all this. But actually, what about this bit? I was like, okay, we'll add that bit in. And they're like, and actually our friends don't even know the stuff you've told us, because at school, health education is so limited. So we're kind of trying to provide info, but not only for kids, but also for their parents.
Which
is really important.
It's like health literacy as well, isn't it?
Yes.
It's so that as a parent, you've actually got the vocabulary and the knowledge to pass on to your kids, because they are limited in schools. And I'm not a school basher, but I basically drip fed my children. I'm like, oh, else I need to give this presentation on menopause. If I read it out, can you tell me what's good, tell me what's bad, if it's really boring, or and she'd sort of say, oh, look, that's really interesting, isn't it, Mummy? I'm like, yes, it is. And they just ask a little bit more. And if you ask that, I don't mean that I'm so brilliant, it's just my job, isn't it? But they'll say, oh, I've learned more from you looking at your presentations than I ever have in school, or, you know, but they just don't have the time or they can't even do PE, let alone, you know. It's like, it's so limited.
Yeah,
And
we
also,
can't expect teachers to have that necessarily education around it, but also the confidence. If you're not comfortable talking about the subject, then it comes across to the kids. So you've got to feel confident in it. Sorry, Ruth, I interrupted.
No, it's fine, because I'm just thinking, you know, talking to Olivia, and what, she's 28, 29. So, you know, she's a well-educated young, both my nieces are well-educated young women, but they seem to be picking up on a lot of negativity about women's health. You know, they're starting to worry about their perimenopause and menopause. They're, you know, and it's that, and that they seem to have more of a fear than what we did at their age. So I love the idea of this, of, you know, having this festival that's yes, it's informative, but it's also celebrating and telling women you've got so much more control over your health and well-being than what we think. Because quite often, you know, we spoke about this the other day, didn't we, Lizzie, about the fear and how women are fearful of going to the GPs, or fearful, almost like fearful of their own bodies in many ways.
Yeah, it bridges that gap, doesn't it, Julie? Because, like, obviously you're going to choose people. It's all solid information, certainly.
Yeah.
I know some kids, as soon as they get a painful period, they read a little bit and then they go, oh my God, I've got endometriosis.
Yeah.
Have kids. And then if I go on the pill, I'm going to get, it makes you more prone to breast cancer. Like, it's like a little bit of knowledge is really dangerous. So I think it bridges that gap a little bit. They need that bit more now to kind of put it into context. I don't know how, if that's how you feel it.
So I think evidence-based medicine is definitely where we're after. Obviously there's a well-being components to it as well, but we're really pushing, because I think from my point of view, we know about 85% of people under the age of 35 are basically experiencing their health information through social media. But short sound bites who are delivered by not necessarily people with the expertise. So there are a lot of really amazing patient advocates out there, but their knowledge is confined usually to their journey, and there may be other aspects that they may not be aware of. So I think there's that component. And as you say, I really think it's important that we don't over medicalize a lot of things. And the other thing is this health anxiety. So if you have the health anxiety around it, then people can take advantage of that. And you end up buying a lot of useless products that have no benefit, that just make you look at things in a very kind of almost cyclical way that is really not good for kind of your overall health anyway. So, there's a big range of normal, and how do you know what is normal and what is not normal? And when do you seek help is a key part of that. And as a parent, you need to know what's normal, because actually when it's not normal, you've got to seek help for your daughter. You don't sort of go there, it's going to be fine. But equally, you don't want to over exaggerate, go, oh my God, this is terrible, you've got this. And, so it's a fine line. And again, it's just that awareness, education, but in a informal way.
Yeah, it's fun. It is fun as well, isn't it? It is really, really good. So I'm certainly looking forward to it.
And for people who can't attend the festival, are you publishing this on social media? Is there anywhere that people can go to kind of find out about the event?
So we do links as part of our build up to and after the festival, for sort of signposting to people that we feel provide trusted advice. So they're obviously then people that you can sort of access information from. There are often, we've got about 30 authors this year, so there's a variety of books that are sort of pretty evidence-based. We don't record it at the moment, so we are a not-for-profit. We're officially becoming a social enterprise at the moment, and at the moment we sort of haven't got the facilities to record it, but it is something we'd like to do further on, because I know there's a lot of people who physically might lack the physical ability to come, or the social ability to attend for events. Just to sort of say that tickets wise, the 12 to 18s are free. We do offer community tickets, which can be available through charities, which are free as well. And the ticket provides you access to all the speaker talks. So it's actually really low cost. It's if you've got NHS or student discount, it's £20. Otherwise, a full ticket is £25. But that's everything. There are additional workshops, but they're really low cost, and you don't have to attend those. There's plenty to do without attending the workshops. So we've really tried to keep the cost down. We just have to cover the cost of the event. That's basically what we're doing.
Fantastic. And just on those charity tickets then, so if people, so that's people on lower income who can't afford the full price, they can get, are they available through a certain...
What I would say is, for the purposes of this podcast, if you, I will share with you a community code, and if people want to contact you directly, you can give them that code.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, brilliant. That's great. Yeah, marvelous.
Perfect.
Fabulous.
Okay, excellent. So we will put all the information about the event in the show notes, and we'll also put links below. Thank you for that update, Julie. Thank you so much. Looking forward to meeting you in person. Lizzie, any more further questions about the EveryWoman Festival?
No, I know all about it. I'm very excited. I've read all about it. So no,
You're the organizer of the day. You're the organizer of the day. I've just designated.
So it's the only thing that I've actually been organised. I've got a bit of a spreadsheet, kind of like that talk and that talk. So it's all right, Ruth. Yeah, your timetable for the whole day. I'll just be dragging it around.
We could do some clips. We'll talk to you later, Julie, about doing some clips, because we could do that and then push it out with
absolutely.
So, yeah, that'd be great.
Look, we are sort of semi-professional. I've got a little bit of a mic. Our production values are getting a bit better as we work through this, aren't they, Lizzie?
Yes, they are. We're growing.
Thank you so much, Julie. We will push this out on Monday. Wow, wasn't that just a fantastic talk?
Yeah, I love that. She is what a woman. I think what a woman, arranging something so amazing like that, and then yeah, fantastic.
Great. So looking forward to part 2 in June.
Yes, I love bowels. Looking forward to that immensely.
You love bowels. Okay. So listen,
not many people say that.
Thank you for listening. If you are if you're interested in coming to the festival, and you're struggling to afford the ticket price, then we do have a special code. So DM us if you want the code. We'll put the link down below with our email address so that you can get in contact with us. Lizzie and I will be there at the festival.
Yes.
So we hope you can make it. It's going to be fantastic, and looking forward to that. And come back in June and hear part 2 of our interview with the wonderful Professor Julie Cornish. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.